Sitting here with Carolyn Perrin, who, with her family, has been experiencing supernatural occurrences. You picking up anything in here, hon?
Something awful happened here, Ed.
Hey guys, welcome back to the most amazing top 5. I'm Courtney Lee. Let's jump right into our list of what if The Conjuring was real. For those of you who haven't seen the movie The Conjuring, what are you doing with your life? I can honestly say it's one of the best horror movies out there. So if you're into horror movies, it's definitely worth the watch. But just a little recap for you guys. This movie came out in 2013. It takes place in 1970 when a husband and wife, Ed and Lorraine Warren, who also happen to be paranormal investigators and demonologists, are summoned to the home of Carolyn and Roger Perron. The Perrons and their 5 daughters have recently moved into a secluded farmhouse, where a supernatural presence has made itself known. Though the manifestations are relatively benign at first, events soon escalate in horrifying fashion, especially after the Warrens discover the house's terrifying history. And these spirits are targeting the Perrin family wherever they go. So as you guys can see, this list is called What If The Conjuring Was Real? Well, terrifyingly enough, this movie is actually based on a true story. Yes, this movie that's deemed as one of the scariest movies of all time is actually based off of true events. And not only is it based on a true story, it's said to be extremely accurate to the haunting that took place. So this isn't really a list on what if The Conjuring was real. It's more so describing the fact that this was extremely real and letting you guys know the horrifying facts behind it. So the real life story took place back in 1971. The characters of Ed and Lorraine are based off of the real life Warrens, who are in fact paranormal investigators. They have been called in to work on thousands of cases and help numerous families, but this case was by far one of their most chilling ones. For this case, Ed and Lorraine Warren were called to help a family named the Perrons, who had just moved into a Rhode Island farmhouse and experienced ghosts and terrifying occurrences. At first, it was just little things like objects disappearing and hearing random noises. Then the daughters started to notice the spirits around the house. For the most part, they were harmless, but there were a few that were angry. Caroline then looked up the history of the home and discovered that it belonged to the same family for 8 generations, and that most of them died under mysterious circumstances. Several of the children drowned in a nearby creek, one was murdered, and a few hung themselves in the attic. Now, after the movie came out, the real-life Andrea Perrin, who was the eldest daughter in the family, said that The Conjuring was a fair reflection of the chaos and danger that the family faced on the farm. She said there were liberties taken and a few discrepancies, but overall, it was what it claimed to be. Also, to make the film as true to the real events as they could, director James Wan asked Lorraine Warren to join the project as a consultant. The film was mostly inspired by her and her husband's case files and recordings dealing with the Perrin family hauntings. The entire Perrin family was also said to have put their support behind the film. It's just so crazy to think that the things that happened in this terrifying film actually happened to people in real life. But let's dive a bit more into the title of this video. What if The Conjuring was real? Well, if you are to believe that this truly did happen to a family, then that means you believe in the paranormal. You believe in ghosts, spirits, demons, possessions, all of that. Which I'm not gonna lie, I do believe in that stuff. I just feel like there's so many cases and recordings and proof for it not to be real. So if you believe that The Conjuring was real, then that means you also believe the cases that Ed and Lorraine Warren have claimed to take on, which we get to learn about in the other films that are under the Conjuring franchise. So in this franchise, we have The Conjuring 1 and 2, and The Conjuring 3 set to come out in 2019. Then The Nurse, and then The Nun, which will be coming out in September, and of course there's Annabelle, Annabelle Creation, and an untitled Annabelle film set to be released in 2019. So without a doubt, Annabelle was a hit when it came out. People were kind of expecting it to be cheesy. I mean, come on, it's about a doll that kills people. Just look at Chucky. All the child's plays and the brides in the seat of Chucky, yeah, just cheese galore. With Annabelle, we got the exact opposite. It was actually a pretty terrifying movie, and a prequel to The Conjuring. And just like The Conjuring, this is based off a true story as well. And the fact that it's based off a true story just makes it that much scarier. This is actually one of the other popular cases out of the thousands that Ed and Lorraine Warren worked on, and it took place before The Conjuring. So if The Conjuring was real, then this case was as well. Long story short, it's about a couple that begins to experience terrifying supernatural occurrences involving a vintage doll shortly after their home is invaded by satanic cultists. And we know the doll in the movie looks completely terrifying, but the actual haunted doll is a Raggedy Ann doll. The Warrens say that the original Annabelle began her reign of terror in 1970, after being purchased in a hobby shop by a mother as a gift for her daughter. As soon as the doll made it into the house, the weird occurrences began. The daughter first said she would see the doll levitate. Then both the mother and daughter claimed the doll attacked them and even attempted to strangle a family friend. The Warrens were called and they diagnosed the doll as an inhuman demonic spirit. They then took the doll to their museum in Connecticut for safekeeping. She's kept in a glass box that is sealed with a key, ritualistic prayers, and holy water. About this, Lorraine says that she has a priest come and bless the museum and use prayers that bind the evil spirits. We actually have a list coming out next month about some super scary items that are at the Warrens Occult Museum, so make sure you keep your eyes out for that list. It's definitely one you're not going to want to miss. So yes, to end off this list, the events that took place in The Conjuring are based off of real life events. And same goes for the other movies related to The Conjuring. I still can't believe this actually happened to a family. Really creepy stuff. Alright, and there you guys go, that's our list about what if The Conjuring was real. Thank you all so much for watching. Let me know what other list you'd like to see down below. Don't forget to show us some love by subscribing to our channel and giving this video a big thumbs up, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.